In your Zoom interface, you are going to log in twice. You'll notice that right now I have two different devices. One of them I have renamed Overhead so that if I'm not the one doing the spotlighting or I'm not the one pinning, the person that is doing that knows which camera to spotlight. So if I'm talking, I want the one that says Naya Costly to be pinned. If I am demonstrating and I'm using my second device, so like I'm using my cell phone with the gooseneck holder, then that one I am renaming Overhead. To rename yourself, you click here on those three dots, go down to rename, and you can name yourself whatever you want. You will also see those three dots is also where you pin. So this, because I only have two devices connected right now, it's not going to let me do the spotlight for everyone, but the spotlight for everyone as host would also be in this same spot. So if I decide that I'm going to pin, this means that pin only controls your device, does not control everyone's, just yours. So now on everyone's device, I am front and center. I'm sorry. In pin, I am now front and center on my device because I pinned me, or I pinned whoever the speaker was. Now, if you have at least 3 people in the meeting, in addition to that pin, you get the option of Spotlight for Everyone. Spotlight for Everyone is what controls all devices. So everybody, I would be front and center unless they went up here to that view and changed to gallery view, at which point it would fix it for them. But as host, I still control the fact that whoever I spotlighted is spotlighted for everyone. When you are in full screen mode, you've got a couple of options. Now, we talked before about one laptop and an external camera. If you go right here to this caret, this is where you change between my external camera is the SD webcam, and the HP TrueVision is my laptop. So if I am using my external camera and not two devices, as in my phone and my laptop, this is where I'm going to go to change between devices. Now, if I change, I can only use one device at a time because Zoom only allows one camera on one device to be active at a time. So either the SD webcam, which is what you're currently seeing, or the HP laptop internal camera is all that can be active. So if you are only using one laptop and your external camera will be set up somewhere so that it gives you height above whatever you're doing, and you just have to switch to the external camera when you want to be able to demonstrate things. While I am also here, right now you are seeing the background. Now remember, when this background happens, I've now lost what I'm holding. So you want to be aware of the background that you choose and whether or not you even add a background. Because if it's not directly in front of the blob that is my body, you're not going to be able to see the object that, or I'm sorry, your viewers are not going to be able to see the object you're holding up. And even now, it kind of fades in and out. So to fix that problem, turn off the background or make sure that whenever you show something, it is directly in front of your body because your body is already there taking up space. The other reason that this is blurring in and out is because the space that I'm currently sitting in is not a flat solid color. Both of those things contribute to that happening. Even when it's a flat solid color, this will still happen, but it happens even more if I'm not sitting in front of a solid background. To fix this background issue, you are again you're going to click on that caret, choose virtual background. You can make it anything you want. You can choose none, whatever works for you. This is also where you can control your own screen. So if this is where you can test your volume, you can figure out how well, if you're doing a dry run, this is also where you can see Okay, am I really loud? Do I need to adjust it? Do I want it to automatically adjust it? Do I want it to auto suppress background noise? I tend to say yes to auto suppress background noise because it's then dealing with anything around my camera that might be making noise. This is also where the buttons are for you to automatically join or you to mute your mic when you're joining. All of those things are here. Your share screen features are also here. So last week someone mentioned when they're sharing screen, it goes into, they stop being able to see everyone. That only happens if when sharing you go in full screen mode. You can also just maximize the window, so you have the window. You can keep it at whatever size you currently have. You can scale it, any of these things, you can even do side by side. Any of these things will work, but you need to figure out what works best for your presentation and for your learning style. For me, I need to be able to see who else is in my meeting so that I can call on people because I'm a teacher, so I need to know. But if you don't need to know who else is there, then don't worry about it. This is also where you can control the chat and how it shows up and what you have and have not read. All of that is here. That's also up to you. This is also where your accessibility features are. So if you are in a meeting that actually has captions, and most accounts that are not business accounts don't have captions, but this is also where you would control that. You also asked about dealing with multiple devices and sound. So you will notice that my overhead projector is off. The little red mic, it's off. So it's muted. If my overhead projector device is on the other side of the room, which means that my camera is not going to pick up, my microphone or my laptop and camera are not going to pick me up, then I need to mute this device and turn on the overhead projector device. And that way, people are then going to hear what I'm saying when I'm using the overhead projector device, which is in my cutting room or in my sewing room or wherever you're presenting from. You also here can leave computer audio. So if you find for some reason that you're still getting that echo, and that's the other reason that only one of the devices needs to be connected to computer audio, is because it will echo or it will squeal. If you find that it's still squealing, you are going to click on the caret next to the mute button and leave computer audio. I am not going to do it right now because it will then kill my sound for this video. So that's how you turn that particular thing off. You also have the option when you are in those video settings, so I'm going to open them back up, to decide whether you want those chat messages to pop up. For some people, those chat messages popping up while they're presenting is problematic. So you just go to, you can say here that while I'm presenting, mute them. I don't want to see them. If you are presenting and you mute them, just remember that when you stop presenting, you're going to get this barrage of messages that had come. You're going to see this barrage of messages. So if you're not using a second person to monitor the chat, you don't want to mute this. But if you know that you can't focus if this is muted, if this is not muted, then mute it. And that way those chat messages don't keep popping up in the middle of your presentation. That's where all of those controls is in your settings. And let's close that. Another function of the chat, if you are dropping links into the chat for things, for resources, or people have dropped in, oh, this is something that I saw. You don't have to write all those things down. You don't have to click on all of those things in the meeting. Before the meeting closes, and it has to be done before the meeting closes. Before the meeting closes, you click right here on these three dots and tell it to save the chat. Because right now there is nothing there, it's not going to save it. But if I had put anything in the chat, this would be active. You'll click save chat, and when you close the meeting, a folder will open on your computer with the text file with the entire chat in it. That way you don't have to worry about, oh, I put notes in, or I put hyperlinks in. Now, because it is a text-based message, it will not be hyperlinked, so you'll have to copy it. It's literally a text document. You'll have to copy it and then put it in, but you will have access to every question that people ask. You will have access to every link that anyone put in. So if you need to get back to people, you need to follow up with people, you didn't get a chance to answer all the questions because we ran out of time. If you save the chat, you have it so that when you send out whatever notes or whatever you're sending out or whatever follow-up you're doing, you can respond to those questions. That is everything for Zoom. Oh, wait, let's close the chat. One thing I forgot to mention, if you need to be able to mute someone's, or ask them to unmute, when you click on the participants button, participants icon, this is what pops up. Under this more, I can rename myself. I can edit my profile picture. I can ask my overhead projector, which of course I'm not talking to myself, but I can ask my overhead projector to unmute. I can also replace the pin that is me with my overhead projector. When you are in a meeting with multiple people, this is the place that also, like, I could make my other computer the host right now. I'm not going to do that, but I could. But all of that is under this more. It's either, as host, I have more options than I would if I was not the host. You will normally have a pin, you'll have the chat, but these are the host controls that I have. I can chat specifically with my overhead projector. I can ask my overhead projector to start its video. I can add a pin. All of these are host controls. So if you are the host, those are the controls. If I need them to unmute temporarily, I can also send them a message asking them to unmute, and all of that is going to be here. I'm going to make the other computer the host for right now so that you'll see the controls for a you want to change the host to overhead? Yes, I do. So now this computer is you'll see what some of the things that you would see as not being the host. I'm going to remove my pen. I'm going to view gallery view. Now, if I want to pin myself, I can. So these are the controls that when I am not the host, this is what your controls look like. So when I clicked on those three little buttons, the ellipses, I can hide myself view, I can change my video, I can stop my video, I can pin myself on my screen only, I can rename myself, I can edit the profile picture. So those are your controls.